Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/OhNoConsequences. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Cross-posted to r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my neighbor I have no desire or obligation to babysit her children because I'm a stay-at-home mom? I'm new to my area, and I've made a few friends with a few neighbors through a mommy and me group. I've been in the group now for a little over a month, and I have a 9-week-old. I have a neighbor who's in the group, and she asked me last week in an emergency if I could watch her 3- and 5-year-old. She looked desperate, so I agreed. I was like, well, it's just once. I am a full-time stay-at-home mom and enjoy all my time with my little one. That day I watched her children was hectic as hell. My daughter was fussy, and the children were very rambunctious to say the least. I was happy when she came and got them 6 hours later. She came to me today saying she needed me to watch the kids in the afternoons. I told her no. I'm not a full-time babysitter and have no desire to take that much time away from my own children and navigate life with my child and husband. Her response was, well, it's not like I'm asking a lot, it's just the afternoons. I said it may not be a lot to her, but it's a lot to me. My husband works from home and he needs the house quiet to work. And I'm a new mom, and I'm not interested on taking on any other responsibilities other than what I have right now. She told me I was selfish. I told her she was entitled to think I should help her just because I'm at home with my little one. Am I the asshole for being so forward? Edit. So she went on the group chat trying to disparage me, saying I'm selfish, blah, blah, blah. One of the mom asks her why she felt I had a responsibility as a stay-at-home mom to watch her children. Then, another mom confessed and reminded her in the group chat that she tried that with her and was told that the stay-at-home moms in the group are not her babysitters and she needs to make arrangements for childcare independent of the group. She attempted to double down, and the moderator/creator of the group told her it might be best if she found another mom group to socialize with. Then, she backtracked and apologized. I was separately contacted by the moderator and told that if she contacts me or another mom for this reason again, she will be expelled from the group. I want to thank you all for your support and understanding my concerns. I'm navigating this and trying to figure out this new life. A year ago, I was a college student, hanging out with my fiance, now husband. And now I'm a mom and a wife in a new part of the country. So it's a lot of adjusting. Thank you for your help. Honestly, good on the mom group. Sometimes it's kind of hard to remember that 90% of people aren't like this, and they oftentimes when things are actually exposed and revealed, most people be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? No. So it's nice getting a little bit of a taste of that. And it's nice that OP's neighbor got a bit of a wake-up call from requesting multiple stay-at-home moms to watch her kids for free and finally getting called out for it and getting put in their place. Oh no, the consequences of your actions. Gonna be an asshole and degrade stay-at-home moms? Well, guess what? No more group chat for you. Cross-posted from r/bestof. Originally collected by Direct Caterpillar 77. Original poster is Hot Relation 899, posted June 30th, 2023 to r/offmychest. I stalked my husband for 2 years before I formally met him. I, 24 female, married my husband, 28 male, about a year and a half ago. The first time I saw my husband, I was a freshman in high school. He was a freshman in college. He was walking his dog at the park when he stopped to talk to my brother, 27 male, because they happened to go to high school together. That was the moment I became hooked. That same day I found his Instagram, his family's social media, and also where he lived, since my brother offered to walk him home while I tagged along. When I got home that day, I knew I wanted him. But of course I was only 14 and he was 18. So I came up with a plan. I found out his younger brother was only 1 year younger than me and would be attending my current high school. I figured that I had to befriend his younger brother by any means possible next year, when he moves up as a freshman, while I become a sophomore. And I did. It took around halfway of my junior year where we became best friends, and he invited me over regularly to his house to hang out. This is where I was able to befriend my current husband's mom. And God, did she love to talk about him. From her, I found out what college he goes to, his past girlfriends, what his elementary/middle school was, his favorite/least favorite foods, his pet peeves, what he likes, etc., etc. Eventually, when my visits started getting more and more frequent, I formally met current husband again. Current husband, I'll call him E, would come over every other week and stay for either Friday through Sunday or Saturday to Sunday. On those days specifically, I would wear my cutest outfits to impress him and also joke around with him a lot. Eventually, I befriended him as well. A little background on E: he is the school record holder for a certain sport at my school, which I just so happened to do. And around halfway through my senior year, E came back during the season to help coach the current high school athletes, which included me, in order to get some more volunteer work hours in. And I got to spend a lot more time with him. I loved every second of it. We were friends before, but then we became much closer since I got to spend lots of extra time with him after school, where sometimes he would even drive me home since we lived relatively close. Fast forward to when I had moved away to New York City for college. E moved with me since he coincidentally got a job near my college. Edit, I lied, it wasn't a coincidence. I found out he got a job offer and applied to college nearby his workplace. Being each other's only friends in a new state, we became incredibly close. We started dating when I was almost a sophomore year of college. He proposed to me after I graduated, and we just got married almost a year ago. He knows absolutely nothing about how I truly know him, and believes it is fate that brought us together through his younger brother. Lately, I've been debating on whether or not I should tell him, or at least his younger brother, the truth, since the reason I befriended him was to get closer to E. I feel guilty every time he tells others our love story, because the truth is, I've known him for 10 years, while he's only known me for about 7. Update, I read a reply saying that the best thing for myself is to keep it a secret, which is what a lot of people are saying, but the best thing for him is to tell him, and I figured that person is really right. I'll be telling him this Tuesday on his day off. He deserves to know who he married. Update, July 6th, 2023. I told him this 4th of July, after the fireworks mostly ended and we were heading back. I asked him in the car, would it have been weird if we met each other before the first time we actually met, but we just didn't think of each other as significant at the time? He smiled and turned to me saying, that's impossible. There's no universe where we would have met and I would not think of you as significant. That statement struck me in the heart because I knew I would soon prove that sentence very wrong. But I continued on with my plan anyway. What if I told you we have met each other before? Before that time I was introduced as E's little brother's friend. He looked at me like I was crazy, so that's when I pulled over on the side of the road and pulled out my phone to show him the post I put up here before. That explained everything. He took about 8 minutes to read the whole thing, and when he finished, he put the phone down and stared straight ahead, almost like he was dumbfounded, scared, and confused all at the same time. I started throwing out every excuse and apology I could muster at the moment for about 15 minutes straight when he decided to tell me to stop. And I did. Then he just sat there and sobbed uncontrollably for about 10 minutes before he finally asked me how much of our relationship and how much of my identity was fabricated according to his liking. I told him the honest truth. None of my personality or identity was fabricated for him, except for the fact of how we met. The only thing I have ever changed about myself to make him like me more was lying about liking Chinese food. I hate Chinese food. But other than that, everything else was real. Although my friendship with his younger brother was built upon ill intentions, my friendship between his brother and I are now one of the most genuine friendships I have now. He just cried and told me that he does not want a divorce at all, but he does want us to have some time apart so that he can absorb the truth that I gave him. He also said that he expects me to tell his brother and mom this Friday because they deserve to know the truth just as much as he did. I told him okay, and we drove the rest of the ride home in silence. When we got home, he hugged me and cried for about 5 minutes before he got out of the car, packed his stuff, and said that he'll be staying at a nearby hotel for now. He said that he knows that he still loves me, but does not yet know how to react to the fact that the beginning of our relationship was very, very orchestrated. To sum it all up, I guess telling him was a success? I honestly don't know. He sent me a good night and I love you text last night when he was at the hotel, so I guess he's not as much mad as he may be betrayed? Update 2. Woke up this morning to find out that hubby not only lied about going to a hotel to stay at, but also lied about not wanting a divorce. Through a text message. He went to his family's home, not a fucking hotel. told them the entire story himself and probably exaggerated it to make me seem crazy. His whole family wants nothing to do with me, claims I'm psycho. He said he lied about going to a hotel because he knew if he told the truth, I would try to stop him. Honestly, I feel so betrayed. I tried to be a good wife by showing him the true me, and this is what he does. I did all of this work just for it to end like this? Honestly, I kind of deserve it. I didn't even tell him in the first place because I felt bad. I told him because I had a suspicion that he was catching on to the fact that I knew him for 2.5 years before he knew me. Largely because I found out he was keeping my old phone in his work desk. My old phone that has screenshots of a lot of his old Instagram posts, plans in my notes app about him, etc. So I guess he never truly loved me if he can't even get past an honest confession like this one. I might update this in a few years when I find a new husband. Okay, so your husband was more in love with the idea of you and the fact that it was a natural communication, and not the fact that you essentially fabricated and forced you two together through a series of orchestrated events, kind of making him feel like he wasn't in control of his own life and what he thought was just a destiny in front of him turned out to be something that was meticulously crafted and fabricated to essentially lie to him and deceive him and kind of, in a sense, take away his autonomy. Like, you made him your sim. Also, gotta love the accidental admission that the real reason why you wanted to tell him was not because of guilt in your conscience or feeling like he deserved to know the truth. It was because you were afraid of getting caught and wanted to get ahead of it. That final few lines there about how you were afraid he would find your old phone and see some screenshots and message plans about it, and that being the real reason you told him? To get ahead of a potentially inevitable conversation? Yikes. Now, out of curiosity, when does the line get drawn between, like, doing something to get a little bit closer to your crush, like picking up one of their hobbies in hopes of, like, maybe picking up a conversation with them? And when does that go from that to just outright stalking? I'd be personally curious to see how a lot of people feel on this one. Cross-posted from r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for not bringing my niece shopping after she was extremely rude and mean to me, even if she apologized? I do not have kids, and I also have not really had a lot of experience dealing with kids before my niece. I don't have younger siblings or cousins, I never babysat, etc. I'm explaining this because this is my blind spot and why I'm posting. About a month ago, my niece, Gabby, and I were at the park together. I like to spend time with her and usually take her out to do things, just the two of us, every couple of weeks. While we were at the park, I was talking about an event I'm going to attend with my boyfriend of a few years. She asked to see my dress, so I showed her a pic of me in it. She made a yucky face and said, "That is so ugly. You look really fat. Isn't my boyfriend gonna think it's bad?" I was so hurt. She's only 13. I'm not even a big girl by any means. I mean, I have fat on my body, but I'm definitely not fat. My sister was surprised and said she would talk to her. A few days later, she had Gabby come over to apologize. From my point of view, it was not sincere. She was rolling her eyes and looked angry and just got out the words. I told her thank you for apologizing and then told them to leave. I have not gone out of my way to spend time with her since. I had told Gabby that I would take her shopping for the summer and we'd pick out fun stuff together. I look forward to doing things like this with her. Not really anymore. When we were at my mom's house for Mother's Day, Gabby asked me when we would go. After her stunt, I've changed my mind. I said that she probably has plenty of clothes to wear. She was upset and said, "But I said I was sorry," over and over. I told her that I know she said she was sorry, but just because someone says they're sorry to you doesn't mean that your actions are forgiven, that you have to prove to the other person that you won't do it again. And she hasn't. My mom and sister say I'm expecting adult behavior from a child and that it was ridiculous to cancel a shopping date. I'm apparently beefing with a child at my big age. They said that she apologized and hasn't said anything else rude to me since. They asked how long I'm going to hold it against her. I really don't know how to take this. I trust their judgment most of the time, but this was just an outright mean thing from her. I'm worried that as she grows up, this behavior will continue and she'll turn out to be a bully. Am I the asshole? In my opinion, 13 years old is plenty old enough to understand when a comment is unnecessary or rude. And I also think this is going to be a nice little wake-up call for her to understand that, hey, you're a child, and normally, yeah, when you say you're sorry, things are swept under the rug. But when you're dealing with adults, you need to be ready for your actions to have consequences, and maybe think twice before you say a comment that should remain an inside comment. You're not beefing with a child, and you're not expecting adult behavior from a child either. They're just simply learning their actions have consequences. I actually knew someone in my middle school who had the mentality of, I can do whatever I want as long as I say sorry. And oftentimes they would do something, then immediately apologize for it, and then do it again. Or they would do something and then ask permission to do that thing, and then hopefully they get permission for it. If not, well, the thing's already been done, so what can you do about it? Sorry. I feel like sometimes it's necessary to learn that sorry isn't a golden ticket to get away with whatever you want to, and you actually have to hold yourself accountable. An apology only works if you sincerely mean it. And as for the case of the kid I knew in middle school, you can only fuck around and find out so many times before you eventually get transferred by force to a different middle school. From what I understand, he was facing expulsion and was given the opportunity to transfer to essentially a middle school that was built for kids that might have difficulty adjusting or might require additional care. He used to steal my chocolate milk at lunch, so, that's why I've held on to this grudge for so long. Cross-posted from r/mytheasshole, would I be the asshole public? Am I the asshole for refusing to loan money to my sister for my niece's college fund after she spent most of it on prom? So I, 37 female, have a sister, 40 female, who's a single mom to my niece, 17 female. She's done most of it on her own since her daughter was born, and while we've had our ups and downs, I've always tried to be supportive. My husband and I have a 14-year-old daughter ourselves, and we're not exactly rolling in it either. But we've been careful, planned ahead, and have tried to keep things stable. About 5 years ago, I started contributing money toward a college fund for my niece. Nothing huge, just here and there. Birthdays, tax return leftovers, a couple hundred from my bonus, that kind of thing. My sister said she was adding some too, and over time, it grew to just over 11,000. The entire idea, which we both agreed on, was that it was for college only. Not rent, not clothes, not bills, and definitely not prom. Well, prom was in late April. My niece looked absolutely beautiful. She had this pale blue fitted dress. Her hair was done in this really pretty updo. Makeup was on point. Nails, shoes, they all looked great. She and her friends got a limo, went to some Italian restaurant before the dance, and did a little photo shoot thing. It wasn't celebrity level extravagant, but it was definitely expensive. I remember seeing the photos and thinking, wow, they all look amazing. Followed immediately by, how exactly do they pay for this? So, earlier this week, I was going over some financial stuff. I've been managing the account the college fund is in, since it's technically in my name too, and I see that about $7,000 is gone, with no explanation. It wasn't hacked or anything. It was my sister. She used it to cover prom expenses and didn't even mention it to me. When I called her, she didn't even seem that surprised to hear from me. She was kind of cagey at first, then got dismissive, and said she only used some of the fund, and that there's still enough for a couple semesters at community college if niece doesn't get a scholarship anywhere else. Like that makes it okay. I told her I was shocked she didn't ask me, and she went off about how it was her daughter's only prom, that she deserved something special, and how she's been through so much lately and she just wanted her to feel like she belonged. I get that things have been rough for them, but I still couldn't believe she just dipped into that money like it was hers. Then she hits me with, I was gonna rebuild the fund over the summer anyway, but I'm short now. Could you spot me like $2,000 just for now? I told her no. I didn't yell or anything, just a clear no. And now it's a full-on meltdown. She said I'm holding money over her head, that I'm showing my true colors, that I don't really care about her or my niece. And now she's dragged our mom and other relatives into it. My mom texted me this whole long thing about families sticking together and how prom only happens once. And the worst part? My niece texted me too. She said she didn't know the money came from her college fund and she's sorry, and that she doesn't want me and her mom to fight. And now I feel like absolute garbage. But what was I supposed to do? I've got my own daughter, and we've been saving bit by bit for her too. I can't just casually drop thousands of dollars to refill a fund someone else emptied without even telling me. My husband agrees with me and said if we want to help my niece with college in the future, we can, but not directly through my sister. I love my niece and I want her to succeed, but I don't trust my sister with money anymore, and I'm sick of being made out to be some villain for having boundaries. $7,000. And then turning around and needing $2,000 later on. $7,000 for makeup, hair, dress, limo, restaurant. Like what? Did she pay for everyone's prom in addition? Like did she pay for like 10 people's makeup, hair, accessories, limo rides? Because to me, and this is tinfoil hat, feels like some money was skimmed off the top. Dipped into it and thought, oh, a couple $1,000s for my daughter's prom to make it look all fancy and to explain where the money goes, and a couple $1,000 for me. Maybe there's some unpaid debts and the college fund just seems so easy to tap into. I don't know, just a theory, honestly. I do really feel bad for the niece because she probably was like, oh my god, my mom's awesome, she's treating me to like this awesome prom, and then finds out that, oh my god, my mom took money out of my college account to pay for my prom without telling me. I'm also still kind of shocked over the idea of, yeah, prom happening once, that makes it far more important than their college fund. I mean, community college, maybe a few scholarships, they'll be fine. Prom only happens once. Yep, and so is my willingness to help pay for college. Cross-post from r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my mom and siblings they should learn to live with the consequences of their decisions? So my family is my dad, mom, my 2 sisters, and my 2 brothers. I'm 17 male, the oldest. My dad was estranged from his dad since he was my age. His mom died when he was 10. So we never knew grandma either. My dad was open about the fact that grandpa wasn't a very nice man and all kinds of stuff, but he never went into the details. I know he really did a number on dad because I still sometimes see dad look ashamed if he spills something or makes a mistake. I also know he tries to hold back anytime he cries and looks downright disgusted with himself for crying. 3 years ago, his dad reached out and my mom and my sister, 15, were so excited and basically welcomed him into the family. Dad said no way. He and mom fought a lot about it. My siblings all told dad they had a right to know our grandfather and he should love his dad. I was dragged along at first and I stopped going. Dad has refused to have any part in it. And he and mom fought because he told her his father was never going to step foot inside our house. And if he did, then dad would leave, and he would never come back. So, mom takes my siblings to see him. Christmas was a huge fucking fight last year, because they decided to spend it with this dude, and my dad refused to go. And so did I. My siblings started crying into my dad's face that they wanted Christmas with him. Mom was calling him selfish. She tried to do the whole, I'm your mother and you listen to me. And dad told her, he's my father, and I could stay with him if I wanted to. They're still sour about it. But then, dad took me out for his birthday, and didn't come home until late because he found out they were planning to take him out to meet with his father. My dad told my mom and siblings since he cannot trust them with his birthday, he will only celebrate with the people he can trust now. I also heard him tell mom this couldn't continue, and they needed to divorce. Now, my mom is freaking out because she doesn't want the divorce, and my siblings are really upset. They told me I should help since dad and I are so close. I told them they should learn to live with the consequences of their decisions. I pointed out to my mom. She was always big on us learning. I told them, this is a big one. My mom told me my siblings are so young and don't deserve this. I told her it's all her fault because she undermined dad by making a point to demand he come in front of my siblings, and so they think they can manipulate him and not listen. Am I the asshole? The younger siblings didn't know any better. They were promised to finally have a grandpa, and mom probably didn't fucking understand what she was doing. She weaponized the emotions of the younger children to try to get her husband to actually break and bend. Because in the end, the father was not just protecting himself, but he was protecting his family from the abuse that he suffered as a child. Chances are he's pretty fucked up emotionally and doesn't actually know how to express what kind of pain he went through while growing up. The son, being the oldest, can definitely see that, can definitely read it, and understands what the father's going through. But the mother doesn't see that. She wants the ability to have a larger family, and would rather go see him on Christmas and leave the husband behind at the potential of finally having this grandfather figure inserted in the kid's life than respecting the fact that the father has no interest in actually being a part of his abusive father's life. Something she for some reason couldn't respect for a long period of time, and it literally ended with the fact of, I don't feel safe around you anymore because you keep trying to reintroduce me to my abusive father, so my only choice now is to leave. And now he's being called unfair for doing this to his children when the mother is very clearly the one who manipulated them from the get-go? I can't even fucking imagine just being told on Christmas that, hey, we're going to go spend Christmas with your abuser, and then being left alone. Thank God the father had his son by his side, because that would have... Ugh. That is a devastating position to be put into. And good on OP for sticking by his dad and actually understanding what the hell was going on here. Cross-posted from r/relationship advice. How do I, 27 male, make amends with my 26 male friend after taking a joke too far? So this is a good learning experience for me and a period of growth. My friend Malcolm and I have the type of relationship where we clown on each other. I mostly clown him, but sometimes he jokes me, and we always die laughing, lol. Recently, we had a competition to see who can bench press 225 pounds for the most reps, and he beat me by a decent bit. We both work out together, but I'm more of a runner, and he's the lifter type, so he joked about beating me in the reps. I said, I'll take the L, but at least I didn't take the L in the dating game to my own brother. For context, my friend's girlfriend of 3 years cheated on him with his own brother a week ago. He didn't find the joke funny, and he just left the gym and told me to Uber/Lyft home. He's been ignoring all my texts, and it's been a day now. This is an important lesson about learning what jokes are appropriate and what aren't. My fiance tells me all the time I need to work on my timing and delivery when it comes to jokes or other stuff I say. I was in denial, but this made me realize she was right. He hasn't taken the breakup well because he really was head over heels for that girl, and so I can see why making that joke so soon was bad timing. This is what my girlfriend's talking about. I asked her what to do, and she said, get him a gift card to his favorite restaurant or something. I did that, but when I messaged him saying I got him a gift card, he just thumbs up the message. So I just don't know what to do. What you do is you give a sincere apology and give him time to either accept it or decline it. And if he declines it, that's that. I mean, you fucked up and you made a joke that was still very much a fresh wound. Like, imagine if we changed things up a little bit and, like, his mom died a week ago. Yeah, I took the L in the reps, but at least I didn't take an L with my mom dying. Haha. Why are you leaving? Like, buddy, your girlfriend tried to warn you that you were taking your jokes too far. You didn't believe her, and you kept taking the jokes too far. And this is the consequences of you taking those jokes too far. I mean, even if you have that kind of friendship where, like, jokes at each other's expense is, like, normal and recognized, I mean, you should still know that there's lines that shouldn't be crossed. Like, bringing up the fact that his girlfriend cheated on him with his brother and he was definitely very much hurt by that. Who wouldn't be? You went for a low blow because you were upset about the fact he beat you in reps. And now you gotta deal with the consequences of taking that low blow. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.